Welcome to NBC News Daily, where we start right now with the deadly shooting of two Israeli embassy staffers just outside a Jewish museum in Washington. Police say the suspect shot the victims as they were leaving an event at the museum last night and then went inside. Eyewitness videos show him shouting "Free Palestine" as he was being arrested. Look at this.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
We are told the suspect is from Chicago, and this morning we saw a team of heavily armed FBI agents in tactical gear with a ballistic shield swarm into his home in the Windy City. Israel's ambassador to the United States says the victims were a young couple and they were just about to be engaged. 30-year-old Yaron Lashinsky and 26-year-old Sarah Milgram. Take a listen to this witness who came face to face with the suspected shooter when he came into the museum after those shots.
He looked very scared, and we thought that he was just in the street and heard these gunshots and maybe came into the building because he wanted to be somewhere safe. I told him it's a Jewish museum, and he asked me, do you think that that's why they did it? Like it referencing the gunshots. So he pulls out his keffiyeh and he says, I did it. I did it for Gaza.
We are covering all angles of this shooting. Matt Bradley is live for us right now in Tel Aviv with a reaction from the Israeli government. But I want to start right now with NBC News chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles, who's live at the scene of that shooting there in D.C. Ryan, this is disturbing on all angles. What are we learning right now, besides what we just heard about that suspect and really about how this attack unfolded?
Must stop and showing just the amount of...
Yeah, Morgan, there's no doubt that this suspect's behavior was peculiar, to say the least, leading up to the attack. Witnesses that saw this play out say that the suspect was walking up and down along the sidewalk here behind me in front of the Capitol Jewish Museum and then saw a group of people come out. That group included two of the victims, and when he encountered them, he then opened fire, killing the two victims of this awful shooting. He then went inside the museum, where he was ultimately detained by authorities, and that's where he was yelling that "Free Palestine" chant. This is already caught the full attention of both the Department of Justice and the FBI. The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, was here on the scene about an hour ago and promised a full investigation into this incident. And the FBI Director, Kash Patel, posting on the social media platform X just a few minutes ago, calling this attack anti-Semitic and saying that the FBI would look into it with all of its resources. Morgan?
You know, the victims were a young couple, Ryan. They were just about to be engaged. What are we hearing about this couple from their friends, from their loved ones, and what this means really for their community?
Well, that they were, first of all, dedicated to their work at the Israeli embassy. They worked as staffers at the Israeli embassy here in Washington, D.C., but they were also deeply in love, and they were on the verge of being engaged to be married. Listen to what the Israeli ambassador said about them last night.
The young man purchased a ring this week with the intention of proposing to his girlfriend next week in Jerusalem. They were a beautiful couple who came to enjoy an evening in Washington's Cultural Center.
And Sarah Milgram, who was one of the two victims, posted on her personal LinkedIn page that she was committed to finding ways to build peace across the world and also try to find a way toward religious harmony. Morgan?
Just incredibly heartbreaking all the way around. Ryan Nobles for us there outside the scene of that shooting in D.C. Ryan, thank you. I want to go overseas right now and bring in NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley, who's live for us in Tel Aviv with the reaction there. What has the Israeli government said about all this, Matt?
Yeah, well, we've been hearing from various parts of the Israeli government. First of all, we heard from Benjamin Netanyahu, of course, who last night was saying that this was vindicating a lot of what Benjamin Netanyahu and a lot of right-wing Israeli politicians have been saying for quite a while, which is that a lot of the anti-Israel sentiment that has come up since the October 7th attacks is part and parcel with anti-Semitism, or is shrouding anti-Semitism. So this vindicates a position that they have held for a long time. But Israeli politicians really wasted no time in pointing fingers at each other. We heard a lot of attacks in just the past day focused on a center-left politician who just a couple of days ago had made inflammatory comments that got a lot of attention here, saying that Israel was about to become a pariah state if it continued its policies in Gaza and the West Bank, and that the Israeli policies were basically, he accused the IDF of killing children as a pastime. Now, this, of course, caused a lot of anger. And after this attack, a lot of politicians here who consider him, and he is one of the main opposition politicians here, they said that this was the kind of language that invited these sorts of attacks. So a lot of people, a lot of right-wing politicians, especially here, have been using this tragedy as a cudgel with which to beat their political opponents. Morgan.
Matt Bradley for us there in Tel Aviv. Matt, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.